Greetings, YouTube. This is 3coursethoughts here, and for this video, I'm going to be discussing something I call the four facets of life. So basically, when I say four facets of life, this is what I mean. This is a framework in which, me personally, I divide life into four facets in which to categorize into, which is for four main categories. The first of which is karma and randomness. The second one is the paradox principle. The third one is wants and needs, and the fourth and final one is action and practice. Now, for the first one, karma and randomness, I would say, out of all four of them, this is the biggest one, and the two of them are opposites. So randomness, the universe is chaotic and random. So there's a bunch of different things happening at the same time in conjunction with one another. It just happens. Conversely, karma now is the opposite of that. It's things with intent, or it's a response to things that occur, whether it's your intent, whether it be an action, and so forth. So the two of them together now is karma is something that restores randomness to its natural order, because the natural order would be randomness, things being random, chaotic, and so forth. But with karma restores that randomness. It's like if you follow physics, the third law of thermodynamics, which is action reaction. For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. That's in essence what karma is. So karma restores randomness. So that's the first framework. Karma and randomness. The second framework is that of the paradox principle. Now, like I said before, for the first one, you have karma and randomness, which are two, in essence, opposite things. But that's not the only things that are opposites. You have a lot of things in life, or in the universe, and life in general, that are opposites. You have fire and water, those are opposites. You have oil and water, those are opposites in essence. But just because these things are opposites, and these are just two examples, but just because things are opposites, they can work in conjunction with one another, and they do so every day. We may take it for granted. Let's say you have, let me think of an example. Let's say electricity in your home. There are elements within how it's probably set up, the electrical system that comes from the factories, or not from the factories, but from the power plants and such, that's provided to your home via Con Edison or whichever electric company you guys use. Those opposites complement one another when they're done so in an appropriate manner. So that's what I mean when I say the paradox principle. The third framework is wants and needs. Is wants and needs. So now this is where it comes more directly to us. The other two can be directly, but they're a little bit low key, in the sense that it's so widespread, it may be almost negligible, but they're very relevant in my opinion. But wants and needs is something very apparent to us with respect to our decision making. So if we make a decision, let's say we're going to decide what kind of occupation I'm going to pursue outside of what you're potentially within your range to let me see, range to your talent, particular situation, like qualifications, access to gaining said qualifications, who you know. There's many aspects of that in particular that's out of your control. But with respect to wants and needs, when you make the decision, it's a ratio between, okay, if I want to be an actor, I want to be an actor for X, Y, and Z, and I have certain needs as well. You know, it's the pay, what, maybe it helps me internally, like it's an intrinsic need, and so forth. So with the framework of making decisions, that's something that we do every day. We may realize it consciously, we might not. It varies from person to person. The fourth and final framework is action and practice. So you may have certain wants and needs, like I mentioned earlier, but now, are you putting it into action? Are you practicing you're making pursuit of these wants and or needs? And if you are, it's probably not going to be perfect the first time. Hence, practice. So you taking the action steps to make bring out those wants and or needs, but it might not be perfect, but you may persist via practice, and it improves the skills and you get results and so forth. So those are the 4 facets of life, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm going to repeat once again the 4 facets. The first one is that of karma and randomness, which is in the higher tier, very widespread, overarching, not really too specific. So that means it'll affect more of us. But because it'll affect more of us, and it might be negligible if we don't really pay attention to it too much. Going down the tier, getting a little bit more specific now, is the paradox principle, which is every opposites coinciding with one another. It's part of the everyday experience. The third one, going a little bit even more specific, is wants and needs, which is usually with our individual decision making, or maybe not even individual but collective as well, depending on the situation. And then the final framework, which is even more specific, is that of action and practice, which is bringing out these wants and our needs based on the decision that's made into reality, if you decide to do so. Sometimes it's a scenario where you might want to do something, but for one reason or another, action and or practice, relevant practice, isn't taken, and in the case like that, there's a good chance that that's not going to come to fruition. That's all I have for today. So, you guys take care. Have a good day. As a disclaimer, the topic that I've just discussed is just my own personal framework, dividing, in terms of dividing and, making sense of life in general. So it's just a general framework. You may have your own. If you do, feel free to share it in the comments, make a response video. That's fine. And have a good day.